Let's go live now. I totally missed. It's fine. Welcome, everyone. Hello, hello. We are live and we are here to talk about the Launch Your Business Academy. We are going to talk about the behind the scenes stuff that nobody gets to know about. Uh, JKN and I are going through the academy week by week, every single week to walk through it just like a client would. We're going to apply it to our own businesses. We're going to see what we learned. We're going to talk about breakthroughs. We are going to give you all of the nitty gritty on what's really going on in our businesses, how the academy was created, and all of the things in the middle. We will be here every Tuesday at 10 o'clock Mountain Standard Time to talk about what's happening and give you a behind the scenes look at the academy, changes that we're going to be making, improvements that we're making, all of those kinds of things, and letting the walls down a lot on our own businesses. So you guys can ask tons of questions about our businesses, what's really happening, what it looks like to run a business like this, etc. If you are here, I see there's several of you. Please say hello. Hi, JKN, who's
Hi.
here with us. Please say hello just so we know who's here. We are here to answer any of your questions, and we are kind of just going to go from there. Does that sound cool, JKN?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, cool. So this is week 1 of the Launch Your Business Academy. Now, theoretically, the first thing we should have done is take the getting started class, but I think both of us skipped it and went straight into branding.
I did skip it because you said you were going to skip it. And so I didn't want to be behind.
Okay, so theoretically, the first week of the Launch Your Business Academy is a bunch of getting started stuff, how to run a business right, making sure you're getting legal, all of those things, which I am going to go back and watch for next week. But both of us just watched the branding, and I only watched the first class because I got busy.
Yeah.
All right, so tell me about the first. Tell me any good insights, anything you took away from the first one, JKN.
Well, should we let's talk about, you mentioned this earlier. Oh man, I need some water. A lot of people, me included, and I love this, so I want to talk about this a lot. I signed up for Launched Academy not last Black Friday, but like a year ago Black Friday. And I literally just opened the first course yesterday. So one thing that you said a lot of people push back on this academy is I don't have time. It is a 6-month academy, right? And for me, it felt like there's going to be a whole lot of information. It was going to take a whole lot of time. And I kept putting it off. I'm very busy. I have multiple businesses and then multiple clients who I'm helping them fix all of the holes in their businesses, right? Which is basically running another business. And so I know I let it keep me from jumping in, right? So I was really excited when we had this idea. We should totally do this as a cohort or whatever, so that we can help affiliates who want to promote the academy, but also so that other people can see exactly what we're going through. So if you are somebody who is like, oh, I really want to do this, but I'm afraid I don't have the time, let me tell you what I have going on this week alone. I have a 3-day event that it's not my event, but I paid for this event, so I have to go. That's this week. I am launching a new product for my travel company, and I'm supposed to be starting this major 100-day challenge in JKN Solutions. So I have no time, but that takes me to last night. I committed to doing these live videos and going through the academy, which I'm glad I made that commitment. Otherwise, I might never have gone through it. And I sat down last night and I did the first branding course, and I was very happy that it was only 25 minutes long, and there was so much information there, but not so much that I couldn't do the homework, right? Like it was the perfect size. It was, and pro tip, I don't watch any recordings, any courses, any video at all at regular real life speed. Like I speed that shit up all the time because I don't have time for that. So I watched Kara at 1.7 times speed and got that video done in like, what is that? 15, 16 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. So I can find 15 or 16 minutes, but I hope that by itself is helpful because it was incredibly helpful to actually jump in and see what the course looks like and know I actually do have the time to do it.
Yeah, for sure. I also put it off. So let's talk about time. I also put it off, and JKN and I had a meeting at 9 o'clock, and we finished at 9:30, and then we had this meeting at 10. I watched it between those 20 minutes. Also, on 1.5 times because stuff, right? I think it's really, really easy to be like, I just don't have time for those things. But my question, it's not really a question. My wonder, my something is how much more time are we spending making it up ourselves instead of following a system that we already know works than just doing the course, than just doing the things? Because that's kind of what I realized when I was in there. I made this almost 2 years ago, and I watched it and was like, oh my gosh, I forgot to do that. Like, I forgot to do some of these things. These are things that I teach all the time, and I haven't applied some of them to my business. And it might be, I actually think I could increase my sales just by working on, like, this one talked a lot about how branding makes people feel safe
Mm-hmm.
and makes them feel a little bit better and more willing to take that step. And I was like, ooh, I don't know if people feel safe in my business, especially back to the time thing. It feels scary because I don't know how long it takes and I don't have time. And that's something I can work on right there in my business. How many years, how much time have I spent trying to figure that out instead of just following the steps?
Oh, you know what? That's really good. Write this down. So part of your branding, and so not only am I doing this academy for JKN Solutions, but I'm also going through it to help find the holes and things for the Launch Academy. So write this down. Part of your messaging should be that you have the academy not only to help people save time and money, but also you built it so that people can do it even if they're busy.
All right. I'm writing it down just like that.
See? Win, Britta. Britta, write that down as a win when you watch this later.
All right. And the first one, I mean, we both only watched the first class. It's 25 minutes. I already made notes on how to shorten it up because we can break it into two. And I know that's the longest one too. So that is something that I realized as I was watching it. And I'm listening to myself say that we need a really clear brand and really clear messaging and making people feel safe. As I was watching it, I was like, oh, I'm not even telling people what it really looks like inside of here. I'm not telling them how long it takes. I'm not telling them how simple it can be to just apply the stuff. So that was huge for me.
Did we skip that though when we skipped the prereqs?
There is some, that's why I was going to go back and watch it, is because there is a getting started course, but I bet a lot of people skip the getting started stuff.
That could be too.
And so I was like, I did make a note to say, please go back and watch the getting started and to give like a super quick summary because we talk about it in the getting started class. I know we do, but I think a lot of people, me included, I would skip that because I don't need your housekeeping crap.
Yeah,
I'm busy.
the same way. I just want the meat. Yeah. So tell us in the chat if you've done the academy before. Did you do the prereqs or did you start right in the branding course? Tell
That's
us.
good to know.
Yeah. That way we know. So yeah, that's a good thing too. You should say that in your first video.
I'm making notes as we go. It's going to get better and better. Was there anything from the branding piece that like you were like, oh, I need to apply this, or that was helpful for your business?
So I really liked thinking about the somatic space because I kind of struggle with this a little bit actually because I'm a problem solver. People can come to me for all kinds of things, right? Solutions. I offer lots of solutions, but the problem is in my messaging, I'm not very clear on what those spaces are. So I talk a lot about funnels. Everybody knows I'm the funnel badass, which is fantastic. But and I'm getting better at talking about like emails and I don't know, all of the things that go into it. So offers, I don't spend a ton of time talking about how your offer is a major, major, major part of your funnel. And you need to have a damn good offer so that people are like, yes, this is a no-brainer. Please take my money. So I'm really excited I'm going to have my husband print out the workbook for me. And I say my husband print out the workbook because our printer is all the way in the basement and my ass is not going down those stairs. You want to know why? I'll tell you all of the stories. A lot of you who are familiar with me know. Anyway, but I'm going to have him print out that workbook for me, and I'm going to really put some time behind that, the things that people don't realize that I can help them with, because they don't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
The pieces of funnels that are important. A lot of people, when you hear the word funnel, you think a landing page, and you're just like branding is not your logo or your colors. Your funnel is not your damn landing page. I'm gonna start saying that.
I love it. I have the same takeaway too. Is I realize that people know one thing that I do, like they relate me to people starting a business, but there's more to it. Like if you are constantly hitting a wall and you feel like you're not moving forward and your business is kicking your butt and all of these other things, they don't really relate me to that. And so I did also send it to my husband and say, print this, please, because I want to go through it and actually do it in my business. Because all of us, even if we're teaching things, are still sometimes flying by the seat of our pants. And I know my business could improve 100-fold if I actually really sat down and applied every single thing that's in there. And then I also have this theory that business is built in this circular motion, right? Mm-hmm. So we start at branding and then marketing, online presence. And when we get done in collaboration, which is the last piece of the academy, we should be doing it again. And I haven't been doing that very well. And so I want to restart at branding and relook at my brand, make sure I'm being clear, make sure I'm making sense, tighten it up where it needs to be tightened up, and then continue through. I think if we were all doing that, we would be building these businesses that were a little more stable and, make sense and can grow really well, instead of a business that is unbalanced. Yeah. And so I'm super excited to do it.
Two things that popped into my head while you were saying that. One, I feel like that's why there's the Alumni Academy, right? Because the whole intention is for you to do it and then have access to it so that you can keep coming back and have community, or have access to the community to be able to get feedback and not have to do it by yourself. But right after, you want to say something?
No, I thought you were doing great. Keep going.
Oh, okay. So right after I watched that course, I saw that somebody, and I need to go back and look at it because it was really late, but somebody did that worksheet and posted it in the group. And I was like, oh, look at that. Somebody's doing it. And I was so proud of that person. So if you're watching this person, who I don't know who you are because it was late and I didn't look at your name, good job.
I think it was Shayna, and she just got started, and she did it 3 times because she did all of the homework, which part of the homework is to do it with a business we already know, to kind of practice it through and then do it with your own business. And I still need to go back to hers and comment on it. But I love it when we have a big group, a big cohort come in, because a bunch of them will do it at once. And it's such a good reminder, and there's huge breakthroughs that happen with it too. So I think it's cool. I think I'm going to post mine. Maybe that's our challenge, JKN. We both should post them in the group.
Okay.
In the academy group.
I'm going to do all the things, and I'm going to post in the group. So that, so there's engagement in the group, right? That group has a lot of engagement, actually. I'm pretty impressed. But so that there's more academy homework engagement too.
I agree. I think that's what we do, is we are like dedicated, and we do it just like we're in it. I feel like I should fill out the check-ins for Britta to give me feedback.
Me too. Britta, I'm coming for you.
And we can figure it out from there. I think it'll be cool and super good for everyone to see what it looks like, especially if we're sharing all of this. And I think it'll be great for our businesses too. Sometimes we're just chaotically trying to make money instead of actually building something. It's like the difference between following a recipe when you're making a cake and just being like, I think I kind of know some stuff, and then you BS it.
It's so funny that you say that. Not the recipe part, but you're totally right. So I mentioned earlier I have multiple businesses, and one of them crap hit the fan 5-6 weeks ago. And it was a big deal, but it wasn't like end of the world big deal, right? But it required that I put all of my energy into fixing. I could. It's a really big story, but I'm not going to go there. All of my energy had to go into this project for my other company, and so I completely ignored, not completely ignored, but I didn't do any building for JKN Solutions in that 5-6 weeks, and so the last week and a half I've been like throwing stuff at the wall. Oh my gosh, I gotta get some revenue coming in because I ignored my pipeline. And that's exactly what we do every single time. We don't have those systems in place so that when things like that happen, especially if we're multi-passionate entrepreneurs, and then something happens, you're like, oh, I screwed up, and you're flailing around trying to figure out how to fix it, instead of having those systems in place to begin with.
Yeah. And doing it well and knowing what you're putting out there. Like I have a big spreadsheet that goes out to like my social media person and the girl who draws all our cute little astronauts, any of our graphics, those types of things. Anyone working on my website, it goes out to everyone with our brand and who we are and all of those things. I haven't updated that in like a year and a half, and I probably should. I think we all should be looking more at our stuff, at our brand, and saying like, okay, well, where does it need to be tightened? What has changed over the years? Where have we gotten more specific? And when we get chaotic, we just keep running instead of coming back and saying, okay, how do we tighten up? How do we fix the holes in the ship instead of just keep rowing faster and faster and faster while we leak? So I feel like really excited to do this and go through all of it and see what it does for both our businesses.
Yeah, that's it's gonna be cool, and it's gonna help other people too, because I know, like I know that there's somebody watching this right now, and they don't want to share anything about what they have going on because they feel embarrassed, for whatever reason. And you don't have to be embarrassed because we all do dumb shit.
Yeah, we
So
do.
let us help you by telling you the dumb stuff that we do. And hopefully it'll help you save some time and energy. And like I said, I got a lot of things going on. So I can't wait to share some of those lead generating type things that are specific to my business while we're going through the academy, because it'll be helpful too. So
No, I agree. I'm super excited to do this. I've also been putting it off because I didn't think that I had time. That's silliness. So I'm excited to go through it. We're going to do this every single week. It's kind of us making sure we're actually doing it as well. Kind of some accountability to make sure we're both in here. So we're excited to share it with you guys. Please ask any questions about the academy that you have or about our businesses. We're happy to teach you more about what we're doing and show you all of these steps. I am going to turn this into a guide in the Facebook group so you guys can go through every single one every week and see what we're working on, what changes we've made, what's worked really well for our businesses. We're going to talk about mistakes, what hasn't worked well for our businesses, all of the steps, all of the nitty gritty, etc. Any last thoughts, JKN, or anything else you want to make sure we talk about before we call it? I plan on these being about 30 minutes.
I took notes while I was doing my course yesterday, so specifically for this call. And I think we touched on all of it, but I just wanted to make sure there weren't any notes or any questions in the Facebook group, and I don't think there are.
No, I don't think I see any either. So I think we're good. I'm going to let us be at about 20 minutes. That's probably a good amount anyway for us to say. This is our first one. So maybe about 20 minutes is good. A little bit more about what we're doing in our business, what's next. For me, my next steps for this week, my homework is to do that semantic space map. There's more training on it in the academy. We're not going to teach you everything that's in the academy. That's silly, and we wouldn't even have time. We're kind of giving you a background look at that. So I'm going to do the semantic space map. And then my biggest question is I need to figure out how I'm making people feel safe before they get into the academy, because the people in the academy, I think they feel pretty safe. They're saying the right words. But taking that big step, I think I need to work on the safety piece in there. So I'm gonna brainstorm that as well. What are you working on this week?
Okay, so for this specifically, I'm going to focus on, again, the the space. I'm going to take up more space. I love to say take up space, but I am not taking up the right space in people's minds. So when they think about business in general, when they think about, I'm going to throw this damn computer because I don't know how to make this thing work, I want them to think about me. So that's where I'm going to work this week.
Perfect. Perfect. I love it. All right, guys, we will be back next Tuesday, 10 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, to give you more behind the scenes on the Academy, what we're doing, what we're learning, changes that we're making, mistakes that we're making, etc. Please come with your questions and take this fun little journey with us, and let me know if you need anything at all. I will see you guys all next week.